Welcome to all. I'd like to call the February 2nd, 2026 Bryan City Council meeting to order.
Please stand for the
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item that I'd like to have a motion to remove number 5 from the agenda.
Yes, Council, I got a call from the Director of Utilities late this afternoon. It appears that MEI of Bryan has not had proper time to review the easement to make sure that they are comfortable with it. So Derek has asked that we actually hold this until our next council meeting. He doesn't think that it will harm anything with the project, to give them time. The reason that you're seeing it for a second time and why we were going to have you change it was twofold. One, the original ordinance prepared by the attorney said that it was for E-Tree, and it is supposed to be for MEI Bryan LLC. And also because there is some cement in the area that they're going to work for, and we wanted to make sure that it was written in the contract and not just an addendum put in later, so that we were not held for any liability should their equipment break when they're digging through there to install the solar fields. So those were the two items that were changed. And we're just going to hold that till the next council meeting and make sure that MEI is comfortable with the easement.
Well, then, I move to remove it from the agenda.
I'll second.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Thank you.
The second item is approval of the minutes from January 20th.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mary?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Agenda item 3 is hearing of any public concerns.
Mr. Cox.
Yes, Mr. Cox.
First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Weiland for getting me the information that I requested at the last meeting. My concern this time is that due to the snowfall, Eastland Estates gets their trash picked up Mondays. So due to the heavy snowfall, no traffic whatsoever, there was no pickup. But there was never a follow-up pickup during the last week. In other words, normally if there's a Monday holiday, they'll show up on Tuesday or Wednesday to make up the difference. Well, in this particular case, they never did. And as a result, there were a lot of people who had completely full trash containers prior to the expected pickup. So there was no room for them to put anything else in their trash bins.
This is Republic.
This is Republic, yes.
Did anyone contact them in your area?
I didn't get a contact. I can't speak for anybody else. I can say, though, that they did post on their website because I had heard some comments about that they were behind. So I did, because my trash pickup is Friday mornings, and I was concerned about that they were going to be behind. So I went to their website early in the week, and they did have a notice on their website that they were behind because of all the snow and the situation. And if they couldn't do a later date, they would come back they'd pick you up on their regular dates the following week.
Well,
So,
okay, we have to pay for trash in advance, and we get so many pickups for trash and recycling materials. Since we didn't get a pickup that week for trash, I think everybody in the Eastland Estates and anywhere else in Bryan that they pick up on Mondays, there should be a refund.
Can't you just to
So,
that was-
so I'm gonna
Yeah.
first say, the onus is on the customer to call Republic Services, not come to city council. That contract is with Republic Services. If you would have called the local number for Republic Services, they would have told you to leave your tote out, and they would come and get it, because as that driver would finish routes on the following days, she would go to that Monday pickup and start picking up on that route. So as she finished Tuesday, she would go get a couple streets from Monday. As she finished Wednesday, she would go back and get a couple more streets from Monday. Because again, we have to understand that we live in Northwest Ohio. We were under a level 3, we were under a level 2 for several days. We had winter. And so we have to accommodate for that in the fact that those trucks can't work in that kind of situation. So there is a little bit of onus on the residents that they need to communicate with the trash service. There was also a statement that says, if we do miss you, we will pick up double on your normal day. Meaning, if you have extra bags, leave them there. We're going to come hand pick those up. And that was communicated to the residents that called. So if you have further issues with that, you can call the local Republic number. But again, they tried to work with the customers as best they could. Mother Nature is obviously what got in the way there. That is sometimes out of all of our control.
Okay, admittedly. But like I said, they have a system in place with, they don't do Monday pickups. They can come and pick up, the other days in the week.
They were. If the tote was still out, she was doing that throughout the week.
The key piece to this, in my mind, is, and I do it, I've done it more than once.
Okay.
Maybe like 3 times in the last 4 years or whatever. If something goes awry, I call out to Republic and say, so what are we doing here? What's happening here? Once I actually called and said, I found my container, and it was not a windy day, about 300 feet down. And they said, we're real sorry. The driver did tell us that he forgot to push release or whatever. And I said, it's not a problem. I just wanted you to know. They've always been responsive to me when I've called, so you probably want to call them directly. It's much, and you might want to spread it around Eastland. It's much quicker and easier, in my mind, more responsive.
Okay. I mean, driving up and down the street, there was no change anywhere, especially with the ones that you could see that were filled literally above the brim. And there was no pickup, period.
Right.
So they didn't get picked up today?
They got picked up today, but they didn't get picked up the entire time. Now, if you've got a trash container that is completely loaded, where are you going to, aside from throwing it on the ground, where are you going to store it?
Which they did say, if you put
Yeah.
bags on the ground, they would
They'll
pick
pick
them
them
up.
up. The issue was, if nobody contacted them, that information was not communicated to those
Well,
folks.
since there was no change, as far as I could see, the entire week for anybody's trash on the street,
Right,
that seems to be a systemic problem, not just an individual problem.
okay.
But I would encourage you in poor weather conditions in the future, check their website. Their website's very informative, and that's where I got my information from. So that's how I knew how to prepare accordingly for the week.
Well, that assumes one has access to the internet.
That is a correct assumption.
So the other option is to call.
All right. Can you supply us with the number to call? Can that be sent out to everybody?
Well, it was given to everybody in a mailer when you got, it's in the phone book, but it was given to everybody when we switched services, and I know the clerk's office, they have
On your bill,
handouts.
isn't it on your bill too?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it on me right now. I don't keep it. I understand, but you don't have email, so I can't email that to you. I mean, even this letter, because we didn't get it from the county engineer until today, we hand-delivered to your house, so.
Okay. But again, that does have to be looked into. And as far as I could tell, there was never any pickup on a day other than that for the entire area.
Well, I mean, Republic Services was literally in my office today, and that's what they said was happening, is the driver was going at the end of her shift every day and picking up the Monday pickups as the week went on.
Okay, well,
So, and again, they were very clear that if they had to do double pickups, if you had extra trash, there was no extra charge for that. They knew that Monday was the day that they couldn't get to because of the weather.
okay, and
And I mean, we closed City Hall because of the weather, so, I mean, it was not a normal day.
okay. All right, thank you very much, people.
You bet. Yeah, look it up. It's there online. You have to.
I know, that's the problem though, too. If you use your phone, it pulls up the 1-800 number that,
Yeah. Oh, cool. Thank you.
Anything?
Any other? Seeing or hearing none, go forward with next item on the agenda, number 4. Pat, if you could number and read.
Ordinance number 4, 2026, titled, "An Ordinance Amending Bryan Codified Ordinance Section 929.03 A, B, and F pertaining to residential, commercial, and industrial sewer rates within the city of Bryan, and repealing existing Section 929.03 A, B, and F. Further amending Section 92905 A, B, and C pertaining to residential, commercial, and industrial sewer rates outside the city, and repealing existing Section 92905 A, B, and C, and declaring an emergency." This is a second reading as amended.
So council, I've pulled up what the rate proposals are going to be, and I thought that we had put this on my computer, and I am not seeing it, but I had asked Mr. Courtney to do some comparisons, because that wasn't on his report. And so I guess I'm going to unfortunately read this off to you, and I apologize, I can get you copies after. But our residential proposal currently is 32. In 2026, it will be 34.96. Edgerton's currently is $30.78, but they are planning a wastewater project that will increase theirs in the near future, according to Mr. Courtney. Montpelier's is $39.85. Archibald's is $40.46, and Napoleon's is $72.99. Commercial, the proposed increase for Bryan for 2026 is $60.16. Edgerton is $73.42. Montpelier is $81.40. Archibald is $98.24. Napoleon is $186.39. Industrial, for the proposal for Bryan for 2026 is $804.81. Edgerton is $1,187.78. Montpelier is $1,212. Archibald is $1,604.06. Napoleon is $3,059.19. So I wanted those proposals here because we often do tell you that our rates are low. And so this just kind of proves to that. I feel in size comparison that Napoleon is something very comparable to our size. He initially did not have Napoleons in there, and I asked him to add that. But just wanted to make sure that you understood, we're not just telling you that because it sounds nice. Like, our rates were comparatively low.
No, I asked for it.
Right.
So thank you, is my response.
Yeah, thank you.
So, just so you guys have that for the second reading. And anybody that wants a copy of this, I apologize for not having it, and I can get it to you after the meeting. Any other
please.
questions on the second reading? And then I think,
Did you have that, Steve? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Mr. Betts, I think you can move on to item number 6.
So yes, thank you. Item 6, Pat, read please.
This is ordinance number 6, 2026, titled, "An Ordinance Providing for the Transfer of Funds for the City of Bryan for the month ending February 28, 2026." So transfer of funds for general government business. Apologize, I have that here somewhere.
Okay, mine are in different stacks.
Transfer of funds, you want me to read through all of them? See, normally,
You can give a summary.
the total amount of the transfer is $4,575,000 from the 1% income tax fund to the general fund, from the 1% income tax to the street fund, to the fire department fund, to the police and fire building debt retirement fund, from the fire department fund to the fire vehicle fund, the 0.5% income tax fund to the capital improvement fund, from the electric fund to the electric capital reserve fund, and the water fund to the water capital reserve fund.
Yeah, I'll move to suspend.
I'll second.
Jim?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second.
Mary? Rick?
Yes.
Jim? Steve?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Item number 7, could you number and read, please?
This is ordinance number 7, 2026, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to approve a purchase order of Selking International for the purchase of a 2027 HP 507 SFA cabin chassis for the Bryan Street Department through the State of Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program pursuant to ORC 5513.01B.
Good evening.
Evening.
This is a international cabin chassis for another dump truck. It's to replace a mid-90s GMC dump truck that we still have. So it's 30-plus years old and needs to be replaced. And this is a budgeted item that is in the budget. So this is just the cabin chassis. And then the
Yeah, I knew it was budgeted. Do you have any idea that, I like to keep checking the supply chain. Do you have any idea about when this?
I don't, I haven't heard yet.
So it's
I
not
probably
gonna be
won't
6
know that
weeks.
until we get the PO done and they
Yeah.
actually have the order, and then hopefully it's a lot better than it was 2 years ago.
Okay, thanks.
They haven't said it'll be next year yet, so
That's good.
Now, are you using an old dump bed, or will that be?
no, we'll get a new one, new
Okay.
bed and plow. And that'll be later from Collida Truck.
Okay.
I did have a question, and you brought it back to me, is the 2027 list, is that the model year 2027, or are we looking at, so
No,
we're
it's-
looking at a good year before we can even, or close to
Well, I
it?
think that's, the way they do it, they're a year ahead, or a lot
Okay.
further ahead than like
Than what we see at
smaller
our other
vehicle
dealers?
manufacturer, yeah.
Okay. Well, I move to suspend.
I'll second.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second.
Jim?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item 8, if you could number and read, Pat.
Ordinance number 8, 2026, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to approve his purchase order to Gov Connection for the purchase of a server system for the Bryan Police Department through the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program pursuant to ORC 5513.01B.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
This was something we went over during budget. It was a new server upgrade for the police department. We just need permission to proceed with the purchase.
Yeah, I'll move to suspend.
I'll second.
Jim?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mary?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Item 9, Pat, if you could read, repeat.
This is a resolution number 13, 2026, titled, "A Resolution Authorizing the Police Chief of the City of Bryan to Apply for a Grant for the City of Bryan Police Department."
Council, I was made aware that Norfolk Southern offers safety first grants for first responders. They typically like to try to have the government agency within 30 miles of their main line. We fall well within that range, so this is something I want to explore and see what we can get for safety equipment.
Well, I'll move to suspend then.
I'll second.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Rick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
John?
Yes,
Good luck with the application.
good catch,
Yes.
good catch.
Yeah.
Item number 10, Mayor,
Do you want to have Pat number and read first?
oh, I don't know, we're so tired of
Little
hearing
tech,
that.
she's kind of getting tired.
Just kidding, Pat,
I know.
please read a number, or number and read, I'm sorry.
Resolution number 14, 2026, titled, "A Resolution Authorizing the Clerk Treasurer to Advertise for Bids for the Concrete Pavement Replacement Projects, PID 122827, known as Will-US 127-3.9 Bryan Recon."
Everybody loves Brian's weird project names. So Council Bryan has talked to you about this, and we put some money in the budget this year. If you've noticed anywhere between Bryan Ford, Best One Tire, and the underpass, there's road breaking up pretty badly, and most of it is in the city limits. There is a 300-foot strip that is not in the city limits in front of Bryan Ford, so ODOT will cover the entire cost of that 300-foot strip. Otherwise, we were able to get an 80-20 funding agreement with ODOT. So right now, the most recent estimate for this work is going to be $535,781. Brian wants to put that out for bid, so that's what he's going to ask to do. If the bids come in around that number, the city should only have to pay around $107,000, $108,000. So that is our hope. But with your approval, we would like to be able to go out and advertise for bids for this project. We do think that it is a pretty high need considering how much traffic is in that area and how much the road is breaking up.
Do we need to coordinate with ODOT?
So we are, this grant is actually an ODOT grant. They're very involved in the project as well, but they are
Yeah.
asking us to go
Well,
out
I
and put
just
the bid
wondered.
in. Yes.
As busy as it is, that's, if we're gonna close the lane down, let's.
Yep, nope,
close
they're all very involved. We're dealing with ODOT District 2 manager, so
Okay.
they're well aware and have authorized this process too and would like us to go out for bid.
And noting the location, what kind of a timeline, length of, do we have that
For
information?
closure, I don't know, because obviously they're gonna hope to only do one lane at a time and do some work. We're hoping that the bid comes in with someone that is very used to doing highways and knows how to manage that kind of traffic, especially with that light being right there in the change. And there may be some times that we have to adjust that light to flashing or, have someone flagging down there. But that'll be the construction crew and ODOT primary responsibility too.
Okay, I'll move to suspend.
I'll second.
Rick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes,
Mary?
Yes.
John?
Yes,
and I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Jim? Rick?
Yes.
John?
yes. Item 11, the annual reports. Chief Poole.
Sorry, Christie put them alphabetical order.
Oh, that's all right. He just wants to say, you've got the report.
He doesn't get to say that.
Good evening.
Good evening. Evening.
We will walk through this, and I'll give you the short version off the slides. There's a lot of information there, a lot of things are starting to move. We saw a peak last year in a run number. Generally, long-term, now we saw that peak in the last couple when we picked up the EMS, but I've seen a trend over many years. It's about a 5-year cycle. We kind of pop up, it'll drop down a little, and it'll slowly come back up. If you look in the past, it's there. We're in that down cycle this year. We dropped off about 250 runs from the previous year. So it's in the normal pattern. Nothing unusual from that. Activities, fire-wise, numbers are fairly consistent year-to-year percentage-wise. Not seeing any big change from that. As you can see, EMS, emergency response, is a majority of what we do. The average is between 70 and 80% nationally with fire that does EMS, and we're right there. Number of fires is not up significantly. It's, again, pretty consistent percentage-wise for our runs. Our activity, obviously, Bryan, we do most of the runs, and most of those in that 75% are EMS runs. Pulaski Township is our next big mover, and followed close behind by Center Township, and then the rest we do just a few out and around. Just threw a few pictures in of some of the more significant things we had this year, some of the different things that we do, but nothing spectacular. Emergency activity, I looked at these response times. We're actually down fractions of a minute. Very consistent with last year's, not huge changes in any way. It means that anything that we've done with staffing, anything else really hasn't affected us getting out the door either faster or slower. We're looking at under 8 minutes is what we're trying to put people on the scene. Obviously, our mutual aid and hillside, those distances are just out so far, we don't have the ability to do that. But under 3 minutes in Bryan is a very good average time. Calls by the month, there isn't really anything there. It bounces up and down. Everybody always asks us what's the busiest month. This year it happened to be September, but not by much. By the hour, the next chart that is there, again, pretty consistent. About 6 o'clock, we start picking up, and about 6 p.m., we start slowing back down. Doesn't mean we don't have calls overnight. It just, that peak is there. Fire causes, most of our fires are unintentional. We do have a few intentional set fires. Nothing, and this is not one of them. We've got a couple that we're still working to try to find some cause on, but nothing suspicious with any of those.
We have a special unit that investigates.
Myself, the assistant chief are trained for cause and origin investigation.
Assistant chief, see the 6'10"
Yes,
guy.
yes. We will look at a
Whatever
fire.
he says is fine with me, by the way.
We typically look to say, what part of the building did it start in? Can we put anything specific to it? In some cases, we can't. And if there's anything suspicious with that, we always bring in state fire marshal for further investigation. And sometimes they end up with the same conclusion we do. There's just nothing there that we can say exactly what it was. Fire prevention, this is the fun part of everything we do. We get to go out and see the kids. We visit them in school. They come see us. We've done we did a lot of school send-offs this year, more than we have in the past, but we got involved with that and helped get, again, it's a community service. We're trying to get out there and just help people understand the causes of fire and try to keep people safe. Along with that, we do some inspections that are required in the schools, daycares, group homes. Those are under ours. There's some others that are required by the state that we either go along with or we'll get their report later. We do a lot of building alarm tests when they put anything new in, suppression tests, final inspections. We'll go out and take care of that. That's part of what we do.
Tina Jones.
As a bus driver, I know the kids love the red helmets.
The helmets, yeah, we're using red helmets now,
And
yes.
wear those out and on the bus and off the bus. They love that, so, yeah, keep it up.
Fire Training Academy, we got our charter renewed again this year. That's a 3-year process, so we have renewed. Courses that we're certified for, volunteer fire, Fire 1, Fire 2. We can do EMS continuing education. We do a lot of firefighter continuing education as well. Live fire training and our burn building that has been used. Last year, we pulled $35,000 in grant funding for fire training specifically. We had an additional $41,000, a little over $41,000. A lot of that was from the previous year because grants didn't go through. We actually had to go back and assess the departments that sent students. So this year, we, just over $76,000 the academy brought in to offset our instructor cost. So we're actually making a small profit out of that. It's not huge. By the time we pay for materials, LP gas in particular, and our instructors, there's a small income back to us to help cover our inside cost of administration on the program.
Only because I cannot recall, and this is probably for you or the mayor, and it could be my lack of memory recall. How are we, there was an issue a few years ago with the facility.
That's a new burn building.
That's the
Yeah,
burn building.
that burn building, yes, over $300,000 into that. So that cost, again, we look at a portion of that cost for what this money is coming back in to help recoup
Okay.
that as well.
So
If you recall, we had a fully rebuilt cement burn building.
Yes.
There was some
Structural
effective
issues.
structural issues. And so part of the settlement was, we looked at something different, which you found some shipping container type thing. Was it from Arizona?
The company is actually out of Arizona that put these together. They build nationally, recognized, and we've used this very successful. It is a little bit easier to maintain our fire control. There's a lot of other things that we can do in this building, and we have. So it's very versatile in that aspect. Again, for the comparison of what the two are, right now with the concrete structures, they're looking at putting a lining in those. It's good for about 5 years, and that's about $500,000 to put the panels in. So that's less than what this building cost. It should easily get a 20-year life out of it.
Good. Thank you.
Just go through apparatus. We have had a change. We did get rid of our 83 Pierce this last year. We sold that. We've got a new truck. It actually is titled to the city. It's right now down in Urbana getting some fitting, tool fitting. We should have that in about a month and a half up here. So that will be rescue pumper. That will give us credit for an engine as far as the ISO, the insurance rating is, but that's not our intent to use it that way. We'll use it to replace our rescue truck, which was primarily for crashes. It'll have all of that equipment on it, but it still has enough to satisfy the insurance rating for a pump. So we gave up a pump. We will give up Rescue 25 that's down there, the 86 GMC. That should get retired this year after we get that truck. Just kind of giving you an age of what's there. What's in red is over 30 years old now. I got some work that has to be done on the Sutphen Tower. It's going to be about a $5,000 to $10,000 repair, and there's a second part to that, and they said if it needs done, that's a $30,000 to $40,000 repair. This truck is over 30 years old. It's a $2.5 million replacement. We can keep it in service for less than $100,000. We're doing good.
Charge it to wastewater.
Just slide it in, he'll never see it, yeah.
I just signed $300,000 worth of bills.
Just slide it into that 14 million.
Fine, it's fine.
I'm kidding.
Poor Wes is taking all the shots.
It's only because he can. He's such a good guy.
Having said that,
Yes.
parts availability for what you need to do, are the parts available?
Yeah, I spoke with Sutphen today. They were very familiar with what I'm talking about. The other part that needs replaced, they knew specifically what it was. He was able to give me a ballpark because they're still rebuilding the parts for those ladders. The engine itself, we're not having issues with. The motor, the chassis, we're still in good shape with those. At some point, that might be an option if you're trying to cut some costs, is replace chassis. That's been done. But this ladder is 30-some years old as
Well,
well.
didn't you have some trouble getting parts the last big
Yeah, that was an
repair?
electronic control. Took us a while. There is another component in there. If we have to replace that, that's about a $30,000 fix. So there's some expensive fixes here, but again, we're comparing it to a $2 million plus replacement. So we may need to throw some money at it for a while and then hopefully get a few years out of it to get that truck fund built back up to the point where we can actually talk about replacing it. Because the next engine down there at the bottom, that 79 Mack, that was rebuilt in '89, that's old too. That's not the one that bothers me as much as the 99. When that one gets out there here in a few years, about 5 more years, it's going to be well over 30. That's the second run engine right now. And we're still getting parts for them, but we're starting to put age on those, and we put a lot of use on both of those suction pumpers. And they're going to be okay as a reserve, but they're going to start to wear, and that maintenance cost then starts going up more and more as well. So that's something that's down the road a little bit. Hopefully, we can keep up with that.
The other issue is they were pretty consistent with grants at the federal level for the towers, but ours was a year or two away in age, so we could never apply. And now with all the changes in the federal government, like,
We don't have no idea.
we have no idea what funding is going to be available, what's not going to be available. There's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. So, I mean, the chief was just telling me when I was in the firehouse last week that they always consistently gave fire alarms to second graders, and we can't afford to do that anymore because the cost increased. And, you know, typically we could look for a grant for that kind of thing, but they're just not out there. So that's something that's kind of, we've got to pay attention to, because we obviously put a lot of our money into this rescue pumper that we needed, that again replaced 2 vehicles with 1. But yeah, the ladder truck, I think we were initially thinking we can get in that line up for grants, and those seem to be not
Another
available.
5 years down the road, we might actually make the fringe of grants if they're still available.
Yeah.
But grants are fickle. Mark's grant this year, we got nothing. The last several years, they've guaranteed user fees. None of that's there. The state blew through almost $4 million, and anybody under about 25,000 as far as the population, there's nothing there. In fact, this Stryker and I believe Alverton are the only two, or not Alverton, Kunkel were the only 2 departments in the county to get any Marks grant. Last year, we all got it. So the money is getting used up faster. More people are applying, and it's getting more competitive. And we're in that in-between spot. We're not big enough to get a lot of the grants. We're not small enough to qualify for a lot of grants. We're applying, but we're not having a lot of success.
So just something we have to keep an eye on.
So if it's 5 years, you're talking 2031.
2031, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's not that far away when you start talking about we're not putting $500,000 a year away, and in 5 years, you're gonna need $2.5–3 million to buy a truck. Actually, we need to replace 2 trucks, because we need to look at the engine, and that, again, is gonna, if we had went to just a stripped-down engine, we probably could have gotten in close to about $750,000, $800,000 instead of the $1 million that we paid to replace 2 trucks. But again, we went a little bit more to replace 2 instead of just 1.
But 2031 also makes that Sutphen Tower just short of 40 years old.
Just short of 40 years old, exactly.
And my understanding is, once you decide to pull the trigger to purchase a truck, then the lead time just to get the chassis is quite long, and then the outfit, of course, is always a long time. So you could be looking over a year before you would actually.
Now
I
it's
wish it
2 to
was
3.
1 year. They're talking about, right now, Sutphen is looking at about 2 to 2.5 years on their tower lead time. They're hoping to bring that down a little bit. Manufacturers are starting to get a little catch-up because there was a big pushback during COVID. They slowed down production. It's catching up a little bit, but anything inside of 2 years, yeah, you'll be lucky.
So in other words, about the time we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of that truck.
It would be right in that time frame. So yeah, you do need to have a little advance. Montpelier's looking at their ladder that they're talking about. They've got a 3-year lead time on that with Pierce. So it's, yeah,
3 years.
3 years. And that's not unheard of right now in the apparatus industry, is 3-year lead. So yeah, I know Tyson's waited a while for that dump truck. Yeah. And when you're getting 3-year lead times, last year, at the end of the year, they were starting to say, well, this is the price today, we can't guarantee that next year, even though you had to order it.
And honestly, that's why we asked you guys to jump on that rescue pumper, because they actually had one on the floor that we could get, and it's a year later, and it's still
Yep.
not in our hands, so.
And that cost did go up every bit that they said it
Yeah.
would. That truck now, you could add 100,000+ to what we paid to get the identical vehicle. Our older trucks are small stuff, that Ford, that old F1, or 350, will hang on to that as long as it'll keep running. We don't put miles on it. But that Tahoe is what we're using for our EMS assist vehicle. So we were starting to put some miles on that. Typically, we have moved the chief's car to the assistant chief on down. Currently, I have that 2016 Tahoe. If it lasts while I last, a couple more years, then that vehicle's going to need to be replaced. And unfortunately, vehicles like that, now we're talking 50 to 60,000 as well. So it's not it's not going to get any cheaper. And we really can't use used vehicles. Again, 20 to 30 years trying to get that kind of life out of these vehicles. And parts becomes part of it, but with the smaller vehicles, they're getting worn out. Not as bad as the patrol cars, because they put a lot more mileage on them. It just takes us longer, but we get to the same condition. Any other questions with the trucks? All right, this is our current roster as of the end of the year. We have a full staff of our full-time personnel, 6 shift, and our 3 officers. The 3 officers, and I also have the chaplain listed there in our officer group. The 3 officers, we work a 5-day work week, 40 hours a week, then we're on call the rest of the time. Our career folks are working a 24/72. With 6, the math doesn't work out. That means 2 are on one day, 1 the next, 2 on, 1 the next. So we're trying to supplement that with part-time personnel. We have a 24-hour slot open when we have 1 person on. We've had 90 to 95% success of getting somebody to actually fill that, so we don't have 1 person in the station very often. There's a good crew there that are working. We do have some other officers in our on-call staff that will also respond. Out of that list, though, there's only a handful that are carrying pagers that are available for on-call, so that kind of reduces our numbers. Again, we rely a lot on our part-time folks and our mutual aid. We've also added a 12-hour person during holidays and weekends. We knew that we were short, so from 7 a.m., 7 p.m., we're filling that about 80% of the time. So we are getting some more staff in. We've had better response, typically 3 or more on that first engine. Ideally, I'd put 4 on every day if I could, but that's financially, we just can't do that. That's typical staffing is four-person on an engine. We've got all those trucks, but trying to get people into them, most of the time it's two people to a truck. That's where we're at, and we don't get them all out the door. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Well, since Chief Poole took all my allotted time, I'll try to be quick.
Not it. I'm sorry, was I supposed to already go?
Yeah, I don't know why that one is first. Something got mixed up, but I noticed it when I looked
Where
through it.
would
It's
you like-
fine. No, it's fine.
I can come
No,
back, okay.
we'll start with
Winter.
winter of 2025. We bought just over 1,000 tons of salt at a cost of $56,077. And we bought and used 16,300 gallons of brine at a cost of $1,304. Now, last week in the paper, I said we've used more salt this winter than we did last winter at 800 tons, over 800 tons so far this winter. But that says 1,000, because when I first looked at it, it didn't make sense to me either. That's from January through December of 2025. So that's 3 months of last winter, and then, which I didn't actually buy salt until just after Thanksgiving when we had that first big snowstorm. But I've ordered 800 tons since then.
So you're trying to say
So-
that you were factual in the paper? it just-
Yes.
The data looks skewed right here because it was a 1.5
The
winters.
paper's right and that's right, because it's two different time frames. That's January through December of '25. And when I was speaking to the paper, I was speaking winter, last winter and this winter. So it's two different things. Okay.
Got it.
And now we have our employees. There's one change on there. Caleb Carlisle transferred to the power treatment plant, and then he was replaced this last summer by Matt Clifton. So that's a new employee that we have. And our routine jobs, the one highlight out of there, last winter, we cut down 27 hazardous or dying trees off the terraces. And that was through April at the parks, made that list, and with us and BMU, we cut those trees down and ground all the stumps. Okay. And the Durapatcher, which is our pothole patching machine, we used 2,392 gallons of emulsion at a cost of just over $6,000. Then the sewer crew cleaned and televised just over 3,700 feet of sanitary sewers. Our compost facility, last year we took in 371 tons of yard waste, grass and leaves, and gave away 122 tons of composted material. The year before, we were over, I think, between 250 and 300 tons that we gave away. This year, we're down to 122. Why, I don't know. Not as many people came and got it, but hopefully in the spring, they make up for that, because the pad out there is full from the composted material and all the material that we took in this fall with the leaf pickup.
So people would just call your office then?
Right. They call, set up a time, and somebody will meet them over there, either with the skid steer if they're just bringing a small trailer or a pickup truck.
Okay.
Or if they're bringing dump trucks and trailers, we take our loader over there and we'll give every ton of it that we have away. If anybody wants it. And they don't have to be from Bryan. They can come from anywhere. Because
Okay.
we have no use for it other than we have to do it. And we have to get rid of it, otherwise we run out of room over there.
Which the compost is different than the mulch, because the mulch is ground up and
Yeah.
used by the parks.
Right. And that's it, two separate
Yep.
places. Then out of the cemetery, we had 55 burials, and we poured 28 bases.
That's, wow.
That's it. Question?
Well, I feel like the Bryan Times had a great picture, because you probably were doing another town that day, John, but of the plow truck, like plowing in the middle of the snowstorm, which would have been a perfect cover photo for this, and you didn't include it. It was like guys in action in the middle of a level 3. I'm just saying, it would be a great
It was
conversation.
me, I didn't want to put me in the annual report.
I know.
Question.
I didn't know who it was. I just thought, well, yeah, you know what? We need to have that in the front page when the property tax thing comes up, because, you know, your general fund.
Do you do all the burials at Fountain Grove?
The street department? Yes.
Okay.
And we pour all the bases.
I would like to say that, I mean, I understand people sometimes get upset at the street department for snow removal. Some of it, I think, has value, some of it not as much. But I want to say thank you to you and all your staff, because that is not easy stuff. That's 12 hours, I think it's 12-hour shifts, isn't it? That sound about right? And it's back to back to back. And the last 2 weeks, 3, the last short term has been a lot. So I want to say thank you to you, and tell your staff the same thing, that they are very much appreciated, even though at times they probably don't feel that. They need to take into consideration, there are many people who do, that I also hear from, that aren't telling me that their mailboxes were cut down or that their curbs were chipped. They're telling me, wow, they got to our streets real quick. Wow, they salted and I could get out. So I hear that about as much as the negative. But for me personally, I wanna say thank you to you and your staff, and also the other managers, especially since the chiefs are here, for the grants. That is, I mean, and Bryan is probably leading the way with an amount, but then there's so much more there. But thank you for your work on trying to make Bryan have better services at less cost. And that's very hard to do, and it is much appreciated. And that's all I just wanted to say, that I think it was appropriate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot,
That's it.
Tyson.
Okay.
We usually go from the mayor.
Yeah, I just want to thank all the city departments. We had a reminder of what winter in Northwest Ohio really looks like. I feel like it's been pretty mild the last several years, and they really worked hard, they worked long, they worked in very, very cold temperatures. And that includes the BMU staff, because I know there was a water main break, one of those negative 20-degree days, and I appreciate all of them. A lot of that weather comes in on the weekend too, and they continue to go up for work on Monday and work extra. There's always that guess of, will the salt activate today or not? And you don't know until you try. So I appreciate the work, the leadership, everything that they did to make sure that the city was still rolling in very hard conditions. And also, just a forewarning, I usually wait until all the annual reports are done, but I am going to do the State of the City at the next council meeting, largely because the Kiwanis have me on their agenda for the following Wednesday, and I thought maybe you'd want to hear it before I gave it out to the public. So, sorry to change the sequence, but that's just the way it worked out this year. So, that is all I have for this evening.
Pat,
Let's see.
any of the city folk? Anyone else? Before I get to the news folk?
I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it, giving me the opportunity to be a dad tonight. So it's, you know, when you have a senior, it's a, you know how big of an issue that is, and I thank you for, because it impacted an awful lot of people, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
And the last senior, too.
Yeah, last senior. Yeah,
Family first.
yeah,
It's different when it's the baby, because you realize, like,
This is
I don't
it.
get a do-over.
yeah.
Yeah, take the opportunity when you can. To me, this was a minor adjustment, but you're very welcome. If there's nothing else, entertain a move to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Jim? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.